Hey there, Facebook. It is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer, and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And today's message is all about why showing up authentically in every moment is your absolute greatest strength. And yes, I really wanted to deliver this message. Authenticity is something that I'm constantly learning about. It's something I'm constantly talking into. And just yesterday, I was given an amazing opportunity to really just test out how authentic I'd been showing up over the last, particularly over the last few months. And it was really, really interesting. So, and it really gave me such valuable lessons that I so want to share with you guys today. And yeah, and really just giving some insights here. So, yeah, so the power of authenticity. So yesterday, just to tell you a little bit of a story and what sort of gave me this new insight, new lesson that I'm super excited about sharing with you guys today, was that I received a call from somebody that I really respect, and I wasn't sure exactly why they were calling me, and anyway, got into the conversation, and it turned out that they laid down some really harsh criticism, and in that moment I was kind of shocked, like I was kind of blown away, because I had no idea. My perception of what the call was going to we were going to talk about, you know, I just saw it totally opposite, I think. And anyway, we got on this call and all this criticism came out, like pretty harsh stuff. And it was kind of like, whoa, it was really, really shocking in the moment. And in the moment, as I was receiving this criticism, my instant reaction was like, oh, like I'm shocked, and I'm like, doesn't feel great. But then my mind went to, where's the lesson in this? Because whenever I'm really learning how much value is in the criticism of others, no matter where it comes from, no matter how bad intentions, good intentions, no matter what, no matter where the intention is coming from, there is so much value in criticism. And so I quickly shifted my mindset as I was listening to them, you know, talk into what their perception was and what their criticism was, and all of this stuff without they didn't actually set any intention about why they were telling me this stuff, but they just kind of laid it out and set it up as, you know, you can hang up on me. You know, I might be totally off track here. You can hang up on me, but I need to say all this. And yeah, in that moment, I was like, okay, where's the lesson in this? Like, and I shifted my mindset into this fascination and curiosity, because I was so shocked by what they were saying, and I was like, wow, this is like such an amazing opportunity to see a blind spot that I potentially, you know, I just haven't picked up on. And, you know, I want to learn about this. I'm super curious, because if somebody is out there getting this perception of what I'm doing in the world and how I'm operating, then I want to learn about how they got that perception, because if one person has it, there's bound to be many more. And so, yeah, I was asking questions. I was asking for more information. I wasn't triggered at all. I was more like shocked that the conversation had ended up being that way. And then I was open and curious to learn the lesson throughout the harsh judgments, and more so curious about how did their mind work? How did they gain that perception, and what can I learn here? Am I showing up that way, or is it just their perception? And what am I doing that is portraying this kind of perception that they've come up with? So I was really, really interested in that. Anyway, I continued through that conversation, and got to a point where they were then criticizing different people who, you know, are really, you know, world-renowned and, you know, the leading experts in particularly in my industry. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to take this all on board. I'm going to soak it all up and see what to make of it. And, you know, and I got to a point where I was like, I'm not even sure why they're telling me this. Like, what is their intention? And I actually asked them, I just asked, you know, what was your intention for giving me this call and giving me this feedback? And they actually they didn't really give me a straight answer about it. It was just like, they said it was just kind of random, and they just wanted to jump on this call and tell me this stuff. And I thought, okay, no problem. And it took me a little while. Like, I went on after this call and I was like, what was going on? Where's the lesson? What am I supposed to be learning? And originally my lesson was focused on how am I showing up that's giving people this perception. And what I ultimately have come to discover after sleeping on it and really thinking into it and communicating with people that I trust and that I know are brutally honest with me and will call me out. And I had this conversation with them, and I gathered that information as well and slept on it, like I said, and ultimately I did some writing over it this morning, and that's why I really am excited about this, is that, you know, I really do believe that the criticism that we receive will either shine light on a blind spot and give us massive value because we just didn't see what we were doing, or it will give you an opportunity to test out how authentically you've been showing up and how strong you are on your path. And that is just like that call that I had yesterday was just such a blessing to me, because it allowed me to come up with this idea that, you know, authenticity, showing up authentically in every moment of our lives is our absolute greatest strength. Because instead of getting defensive and thrown off by the criticisms that I was receiving, instead of getting defensive because I'm buying into that and I'm identifying with that, and maybe they're shining light on this piece of me that I haven't been authentic about, and so therefore there's truth in their words. Instead of that, I was able to shift into a curious, open mindset because I knew that what they were saying had no bearing on my identity. I was just more curious as to how they would come up with that, you know, how they could get that perception. But because I made such a commitment to myself, particularly having about 3 months ago, when I made a transition in my life in multiple different areas, I made a commitment to myself that I was going to forget about my childish fears and I was going to show up authentically and honestly and truthfully like I've never shown up before. And because I do that, and you know, I often get other people telling me, oh, you shouldn't be so open, you shouldn't share so much, you know. I get that as well, and honestly, like, I value at this point in my life being authentic and showing up so authentically in every single moment so much that it has, you know, that call yesterday has alerted me to how much strength and power comes from doing that. And I'm not just talking about, you know, showing up and talking about your authentic feelings. I mean, show up in every moment authentically. And one of the criticisms this person dished out to me yesterday was, you know, if you're sick or you're not feeling great, if you're having an off day, you shouldn't let your audience know about that. You should just, you know, pretend that you're just on path, you know, you're the same every day. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take this on board. And I think that works. I think that there was a lot of truth in what he was saying for a lot of people that's authentic for. But for me, you know, I'm all about being completely open and completely honest. And yes, okay, it might get me into some circumstances that, you know, people might perceive as too much, too open. But at the end of the day, what I've found is that the more authentically open we can be, from a place of strength, not from a place of neediness or like I need people to give me something or reassurance or love or support because I'm being vulnerable. No, it's from a place of strength and honesty from myself. Because when you show up with brutal honesty in terms of how you operate in the world, you know, not every little thing counts. Every moment that you show up authentically and don't discount your truth or do anything at the expense of your truth or lie about the little things, you know, then that ultimately gives you such an inner strength that you are able to deal with the judgments, criticisms, and everything that the external world throws at you, because you can show up and non-defensively because they're not triggering anything within you. You're showing up, learning the lesson to find a blind spot that you didn't see, or you're testing, have I been showing up authentically, or is this person calling me out on something that I have been trying to avoid and trying to be in pretense about? So I'm super pumped about it. Like, I'm super excited about it. And I'm hoping that today's message allows you to check in with yourself and say, how authentic am I showing up in every moment? Am I being honest? And you know, I also came up, like, I want to just like totally thank my mum for instilling in me this thing that she used to say to me when I was a little kid, which was, you know, don't ever lie, because eventually at some stage, like, the truth will come out. And I was always like petrified of like lying, because like the truth had come out and then people wouldn't trust me and then all of this stuff. And she instilled that in me so much that I think that it has drawn me on this path of authenticity. It's probably my starting point of authenticity in terms of the power of showing up authentically and not, you know, how much energy we waste when we tell lies or we try and be somebody who we're not. We try and mold ourselves to somebody we're not. There's so much energy draining doing that. You know, we're trying to remember what lies we told or who we're pretending to be, and we're spending all this time and energy doing that could be so pushed into being on path, being authentic, and moving forward with momentum in your highest values and highest level of service, contribution, and personal growth. And that is the life and that I want to live and the path that I choose to be on. And I know I've got so many lessons to learn. I know I've got so many blind spots I haven't yet shone light on. But that blessing of that call yesterday really alerted me to the fact that I am on path, and the power of being authentic and showing up and coming from a place of real intention to serve and contribute is so strengthening, empowering. And I really hope that this message really helps you guys out there. If, you know, just showing up in your everyday life, being authentically you, and it allows you to take on board the things that you can't see that other people can shine light on and give you a massive boost in your personal growth, because you're able to keep an open mindset and be curious and be open-minded about what's coming at you, no matter where it comes from or no matter how it's delivered to you, because you're not identifying with it, and you know that you're showing up and you're doing the right things and you want to grow and learn. And particularly for you guys out there who are, I've been speaking to many of you out there who are wanting to serve and contribute your own message. There's a lot of you guys who are trying to be coaches and all sorts of extraordinary things out there in the world with best intentions, who want to contribute to the lives of others. And my biggest piece of advice so far on my tiny piece of my journey is to just tap into who you really are and be that. You know, not try and mold yourself to be anybody who you put on a pedestal or you think is like doing great things in the world. Take, you know, their knowledge and their wisdom, but make it your own. Don't try and mold yourself to be like anybody else, and identify, build the self-awareness, do the work on you to identify who you really are and come from that place. And there is so much power in that, and continue to learn more about who you really are and more about who the authentic version of yourself is, so you can tap more fully into it. And it is so empowering, and definitely when you come from that place and you lead with heart and determination and dedication to service and making a meaningful difference, then your one will become many. And I definitely really believe that. So drop the rules about who you think you need to be, and just focus on being authentically you, without the rules and without, you know, take on people's advice, and just filter it through the truth of who you are and what feels right to who you are. And there's so much power in that. So really hope that this message is valuable to you guys. I want to check in with you guys, so make sure you're dropping any of your questions, comments, feedback, any of your experiences that you want to share with us all here in terms of criticism. You know, how do you handle it? Are you getting defensive, or are you coming at it with an open, curious mind, despite how uncomfortable it might feel in the moment, and how you're showing up authentically? What's been your lesson? So really want to check in with you guys and see who's been able to join. So I've got Hassani, awesome, and Stephen and Carolina and Alex, awesome guys, and Kande and Stan and Jay and Kristen and Alex, good morning to you. Hope you have a fabulous weekend as well. My weekend weekend just started off with a massive high because the Richmond Tigers, my team here in the Australian rules football, for any of you guys outside of Australia, they actually had a massive win yesterday in a semi-final, and it was so exciting. So I'm already having a great weekend. Thanks, Alex. And Gianni, awesome to see you. And Kieran and Moises and Josie and Jasmine and Elnaz, nice to see you guys, and Swadin and Michael and Giacomo and Brittany, Gianni, and yes, Andrew. Yeah, thank you so much, Andrew. And Tina, love your beautiful open attitude. I tune in for inspiration. Oh, I'm so grateful to hear that, Tina. Hope that today's message was just as inspiring as the other ones that you've found valuable in. Thank you so much for letting me know. And Lisa and Babette and Ram's back. I love it. And Namir and yes, Hassani, I really admire. Oh, thank you so much, Hassani. And, you know, shout out to you because you've got massive self-awareness, and I love getting to witness your growth and definitely your leadership in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle. You're doing amazing things, and I'm so, so grateful for you, Hassani. Thank you so much. And any of you guys who haven't joined the Limitless Potential Inner Circle community on Facebook, I would love to have you in there with the extraordinary quality of people who are already joined. I think we're coming up to 300 people, I think, today. So it's really growing. It's like really doing well, and some amazing people in there sharing their journeys. It's so beautiful to see. And Sharat and Guna and Luke and Ismail and Andrew and Samula and Craig, awesome to have you guys, and Simon and Judy and Stacy, awesome. And Jace, I stay true, honest, and open in all aspects. Seems to get me in trouble. I love that, Jace. And you know what? You know, everything is in balance. Like every way that we show up has the positive, the negative side of everything. And what I would say to you is I'm learning that lesson too. Sometimes it does get you in trouble to show up honestly and open. But what I would say is if we are showing up honestly and we're dishing out some criticism to another, you know, giving them, shining some light on maybe their blind spot, I always instill in myself to tell the truth all the time, with compassion. There is definitely ways that we can share and be open and honest and truthful, but with compassion is going to be, you know, not so much going to get you in that trouble I've found. So I hope that helps, Jace and Chris and Jeremy and Annette and Tony and Laval. Thanks for being here, guys. And Tyson, good evening. I hope you do not think what people say about you. You have to give them the good in you and be loving to people. Yes, definitely, Tyson. And, you know, the more we show up in the ways that we're proud of, and we do that by operating from a place of knowing who we are, knowing what we value, what's meaningful to us, and operating from that place, not, you know, counteracting our truth, you know, with the judgments of others. Then we do, you know, we can hear that stuff and take it on board, find what the lesson is, whether it's in their words or it's in our own introspection. But there's so much value in that. And thanks for sharing that, Tyson. And Rod's here. I love it. And Jolene. Thank you so much for your kind words, Jeremy. And right back at you. You are definitely one of the most authentic human beings I've ever come across as well. And that's what I mostly appreciate about you. You are a rock star. I love it. And Tim, trying this with my goals. I want to keep learning and contribute till the day I expire. Love that, Tim. And you know, that is where our fulfillment lays. It's in our ability to contribute to the lives of others, and definitely keep growing and progressing. So I love that, Tim. Thanks for sharing. And Natalie's here. I love it. And Hassani, great reminder to take on criticism and use it for self-reflection instead of self-defense. Absolutely. Awesomely put, Hassani, as always. Bobby, thanks for being here. Happy birthday to you. That's awesome. And Simon's here, and William, and Tony, and Sabri, and Hoang, and Alexandria, and Martin. Thanks so much for your kind words there. And Hassani, football, soccer, or rugby. So Yeah, so Australian rules football is not soccer and it's not rugby. It's its own little thing. So it is, yeah, I'm a Melbourne girl. So anybody who grows up in Melbourne, Australia, or Victoria, Australia, it's very hard to find anybody who doesn't support Australian rules football. It is massive here, and I don't think you can really get away with not supporting a team. And I've grown up with supporting the Richmond Tigers, who, yeah, they kind of don't usually do very well. So to yesterday have us double the score of our opponent, and you know, we haven't won in a semi-final since 2001, and we haven't beat the team that we doubled the score of yesterday since 2006. So I was super excited. So I hope that made sense. Hope that wasn't too off topic here. Love it, Hassani and Alexandria. Yes, love it. And sorry, yes, Judy, you're so spot on. The qualifying final is thanks for being here and correcting me on that exactly. And Juan and Robbie and Lagan and Thomas, awesome to have you. And Gary, thank you for your kind words there. And you're so welcome, Hassani. And Julie's here. And yes, spiritualism's classes are awesome. And yes, Laval, yellow and black. I know you're a Tiger supporter like me as well. I love it. And Tony, and yes, thanks so much guys for joining. And Hassani, wow, that's new to me. I look into Australian rules football. Sorry to take you off topic. No, not at all. That's totally my topic right now. So definitely Google it, check it out, and become a Richmond Tigers fan. I'd love that. And Tim, I'm Port supporter. So see you in 2 weeks for the prelim if Port gets there. Awesome, Tim. And thanks so much, Simon. I appreciate your kind words there. So guys, that is my message. I really hope that it inspires you to just check in with yourself about how authentically you're living, you're being, you're showing up. And I'm talking about every moment. Make authenticity and truth, you know, your key driver in how you operate in the world. And I'm telling you now, I'm having the experience over and over again that there is no greater strength that comes from just showing up authentically, dropping your rules. And so you are, you know, setting yourself up to win in so many ways, because we can't control what happens in our external world, but what we can control is how authentically we're showing up. And when we show up authentically, we know who we are, we operate from that truth. We generate so much trust within ourselves, belief within ourselves, and strength within ourselves to be able to handle whatever the world throws at us, and show up with real emotional intelligence, not getting defensive and, you know, thrown off your track. It actually allows you to solidify the path that you're on, or shine light on those blind spots that you can utilize for your own personal development. So I love that you guys have been here sharing this time with me. And if you haven't already, make sure that you definitely come on over and join the Limitless Potential Inner Circle community. We would absolutely love to have you in there. I'm so impressed by everybody in this group who is showing up. They're being authentic, they're being open, they're sharing what's going on for them, and they're supporting one another. It's so inspiring to me to see. You guys who are already in there, you guys are really lighting up my world, getting to see how you're building those relationships and connections with one another. It's so beautiful. So keep doing what you're doing. And if you haven't joined, make sure you do. I'll link it up after this video. I keep forgetting. Yes. Awesome guys who have just joined me. I hope you catch the recording and you get a ton of value from today's message, all about how showing up authentically is your greatest strength. And I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Let me see. Thank you for your kind words there, Gary. And Robin, day 2, no smokes. Awesome. I'm so impressed, Robin. And you ran 4K today? Oh my gosh, only caught in the end of the last one. But so please tune in. Awesome. So impressed. Well done, Robin. Keep checking in on these Facebook Lives and let us know how you're going with keeping off the smoke. So impressed. Awesome. And definitely, Ram, universe gives right intuition to people who live authentic lives. Absolutely. I'm so on path with that with you, Ram. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in, for being here, for engaging. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. I'd love to see you in the inner circle community, the Limitless Potential Inner Circle community. So make sure you join that, and I'll accept you, bring you in. It's a great community to really connect with some amazing like minds. And I am sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. Sending you all of my love, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow.